I think for a long time I've treated life as if it was some sort of test, like it's almost as if every day I'm either passing or failing. If I'm productive, I'm doing well. If I'm having a bad day, I'm falling behind. And if I rest, I'm wasting time. If I'm not obviously constantly improving or building and working and planning and thinking about the future, then I'm somehow doing something wrong. And I don't really think I realized how exhausting that was until recently. Because on the outside, I can look at it as discipline. It can look like ambition. It can look like, you're just trying to build a better life. But at some point, it just sort of felt like I was really building anything. It just starts to feel like you're under pressure all the time. And I think that's kind of why I've started to take life a little less seriously. Not in the sense of necessarily doing nothing, but and not in the sense of giving up or not caring about your future or just wasting your life. I still care about what I'm building. I still want to obviously work hard and improve and stuff, but I don't want to feel like every part of my life needs to be measured, judged, and optimized. Because I think there's a big difference between caring about your life and letting your life be controlled by the pressure. And for me, that's sort of the thing I'm still trying to figure out. One of the quotes I've always liked is that you're going to die, so live life on your own terms. And I know that that can sound a bit dramatic, but I think it's actually quite grounding. Because when you think about it, so much of what we stress about every day is just kind of noise. There's always something happening. There's politics, wars, drama online, people arguing, people telling you what you should care about, people telling you what you should be doing. Telling people that if you're not using your hour perfectly, you're wasting your potential. And I'm not saying that none of these things matter. Obviously, real things happen in the world. But I do think that a lot of us give away too much for our attention to things that we really can't control. We let these random situations and opinions and arguments and even random expectations take up a lot of space in our head. And then by the end of the day, we feel drained, not because we necessarily actually did anything meaningful, because our attention had been pulled in hundreds of different directions. And I feel like that's why I've sort of stopped taking life so seriously. I'm trying to be more careful, if I'm honest, about what actually or what I let actually matter to me. Not because everything deserves the same amount of attention, but I think just in reality, not everything deserves stress, and not everything deserves all the panic. And not everything needs to be part of your identity. I think online, especially, there's this constant feeling that you're behind, right? You open your phone, there's always someone doing more than you, someone, doing better than you. They're waking up earlier, they're making more money, they're living a more lavish lifestyle. And there's also the people that are telling you that you shouldn't relax, that you're behind, and even things such as you're running out of time. And, to some level, I think sometimes this content can be meant to be helpful, right, in terms of, I guess, self improvement. But at the same time, I think just listening to it and seeing it over and over can really just make you feel like you're in the wrong all the time. Never feeling good enough, never feeling disciplined enough, successful enough, moving fast enough. And I've definitely felt that over the last few years. But what I found is that, you know, although my work feels important and, the discipline should be important and everything like that, I think that it's very difficult to enjoy everything, or it's very difficult to enjoy anything when you can't really rest properly, when you can't actually just enjoy life and spend life as you do. Because one of the things I never really understood, well, what's the point of working if you don't do anything afterwards, right? Like a lot of the time, we're going to work so we can achieve something, so we can then do something else, right? So it's always a bit confusing to me. And I think I found for me, like rest days started to feel like failure, right? Bad days felt like it was proof I was falling behind. And anytime I wasn't working, it sort of felt like I should be. And slowly I started just measuring my whole life by progress and productivity, which sounds good at first. It sounds very noble. Because, of course, making progress is a good thing, working hard is a good thing, and having goals is a good thing. But I found that if your entire self worth is attached to whether you had a productive day or not, that's not really healthy because life is too unpredictable for that. Some days you'll be focused, some days you won't, some weeks you'll feel good, and some weeks you'll feel slow. Sometimes you'll work hard and still not get the outcome you wanted, and sometimes you'll do everything right and things still won't happen on your timeline. I think that's one of the things I'm starting to realize. You can work hard, but you can't control everything. You can build something, you can't force success to arrive exactly when you want it. You can improve yourself, but you can't remove every bit of uncertainty from your life. And you can't even perfect yourself as well. I think there's just so much stuff around trying to be the best version of yourself, which is nice, but sometimes the standards are set so incredibly high that it feels impossible, and you shouldn't necessarily have to feel like you need to improve everything in one go. But pressure doesn't always make you better. Sometimes it just makes you tired. Sometimes it makes you enjoy things less. And sometimes it makes the things you actually do care about turn to something that you're scared of failing at. I don't really want that. I don't really want that for you either. And especially with what I'm doing now, I used to be in the B2B space, right? Doing sales calls, lead generation, all of that sort of stuff. And honestly, I kind of hated it. It didn't really feel like me. I was more so doing it because other people told me that I should, and that I should get myself, clients and start trying to make money, no matter what the method was. And I really didn't like it. There was no creativity. It felt dull. And since I switched to AI game development, I felt a completely different type of energy. It actually feels creative, right? It feels interesting. It feels like something I can actually get better at, I can build upon, I can make cool things with, right? I can actually have something of a passion behind what I do. And the funny thing is that not everyone likes it. If anything, a lot of people hate stuff around AI and simply don't like what I do. But this is the sort of thing which I enjoy the most, right? There are people that don't understand it, there are people who would judge it, but I simply enjoy it. And I think that's what matters, because when I look back on the quote, the idea that you're going to die, so live life on your own terms, that's really what matters to me. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. And if I'm honest, I'd rather work hard on something that makes me feel creative. I'd rather spend my time on a project I care about, like Scarred Steel or like my current game Primus, and keep improving it because I actually enjoy the process, because I actually want to make something that is unique. And I'm not necessarily trying to care about less about everything. I'm just trying to care more about the right things, right? Less about the random noise, less about the online pressure, less about what everyone else thinks my life should look about, and less about whether every single day looks perfect, and more about direction, about clarity, and just focusing on what it is that I want to do, and ensuring that what I'm moving towards actually feels right. Because I want to be able to feel that the life I'm building, I can actually live, instead of just being stuck in this whole productivity trap, whether my day was good or not. And I don't really think the goal is necessarily to become a machine. I don't think it's necessarily the case that you need to become someone that works 12 hours every single day. I think just part of it is being able to build things but still be able to enjoy your day, to have ambition but not to panic about everything or every time life feels a bit slow. So that's sort of what I'm trying to do now, at least. I'm still working hard. I'm still trying to take things seriously, but I'm not really trying to panic over a slow week. I'm not really worrying about any sort of news or politics or anything, because it's not really stuff that I can control. It's not really stuff that's worth worrying about that much as well. And what I'm going to find is, some days are fast, some days are slow, some days I feel clearer, some days I don't. But I think just having a sense of direction and a thing to move towards is really ideal, right? It doesn't mean necessarily you're avoiding responsibility from other things, but I think it's a matter of just moving forward in the right sort of direction. And hey, you're gonna die one day, and that's not meant to be in a depressing way, but it's more the reminder, right? And for me, sometimes I'll often walk around in a graveyard, right? I've got a graveyard that's sort of close by me, and it's a deep thinking space for sure. But whenever I go there, I just realize how short life is, and how a lot of these people, unfortunately, aren't really going to be remembered. But at the same time, that's kind of nice, because it means that you don't have to worry necessarily so much about making your life this massively, stupendous thing. You can just focus on what you want to do. You can build the things you want to do and shape your life as it is, because other people's opinions really don't matter that much. And I don't want to look back and realize I spent the whole time panicking whether I was doing enough. I'd rather build something meaningful, enjoy the process a bit more, and stop letting everyone or everything feel so heavy. And that's sort of where I'm at with it. It's a bit of a difficult thing to think about, but that's sort of why I got into the AI game stuff. Not because it's simply AI, but because it's more creative. I'm not saying you should get into AI. What I am saying is consider more about what actually you enjoy. And for me, it's more creative things, the stuff that gets me thinking, things that actually make me just have a bit more passion in the world. And I know, especially with social media and stuff, there's plenty of negativity around, and I get plenty of it as well. But I think just having something creative that you can work on, at least for me in my 20s, I think is really going to be nice. And this is something which, for me at least, I can see really paying off in the future as long as I stay consistent. But with that said, I'll catch you soon.